Hello, welcome to the Dollhouse. I am the doll, and today I'm going to be talking about having a sexual strategy for one's life. Being sexually careful is the best thing for people in the long run. You know, of course, bad things happen to good people, but being very cautious with how you manage yourself sexually has the best results. The probability is higher that you will have a good result when you are sexually responsible. So for the dolls who are all about strategy, our focus here is achieving the best results. I'm going to highlight 3 stories of what not to do and give examples on how acting on a sexual urge can ruin your life in a matter of moments. So from this point forward, you have the information, act accordingly. You can't say that you have not been warned. So first off, I'm going to start with Juliana. I ran across a story about this woman, Juliana, on the Daily Mail. Of course, it's out of Florida, but Juliana and her friends, her 2 homegirls, were caught in the pool giving each other oral sex by one of the residents of her apartment complex. The resident complained to the apartment manager that Juliana was up to no good in the pool with her 2 friends. And they have pictures and are even mentioning that kids could see them. Kids could see Juliana and her friends in the pool giving one another oral sex. So the apartment manager, I believe the maintenance man even has pictures of what's going down. And he has children. And he's complaining to the police too. So Juliana probably started that day off cool with her friends. In this video that I'm showing, this police footage, which is fair use, by the way, this police footage shows Juliana leaving the pool. And we can deduce by the way she presents herself that she has lost control in several areas of her life. She is choosing the hood rat aesthetic. That's a choice. And it's one to be made in certain circumstances. She's choosing this. She also chose this young man as her boyfriend to be her boyfriend. Later in the video, Juliana's mother hands her boyfriend Juliana's rings and jewelry, her watch. You can see she's got a very expensive watch. She gives it to the boyfriend. Now, the boyfriend is the guy in the black shirt. Does he look responsible? I mean, boyfriend, I don't know. You know, the other girls, her friends that she was in the pool with, are nowhere to be found. They weren't residents of the apartment complex. So, you know, they're gone in the wind. And she's out here on her own, getting tossed in the back of a cop car with some fake Hermes sandals on. So just to analyze this, a split-second decision where they didn't even have to get a hotel room. They could have just gone back to her apartment and did what they had to do behind closed doors. The decision not to pause and go back home for a second could really potentially ruin her life in a lot of ways. It will definitely be something that could cause her to lose her freedom, even if it's only temporarily. She might even lose her residence. And she's definitely doesn't even have friends. And I don't know, this guy, her boyfriend, he doesn't look like a terrible guy, but he looks like someone who's not quite ready for a high level of commitment. I'm just going to say that. She could potentially lose her children if she has them. She could have to go to a holding cell or jail or something like that and get into a fight with some barroom hussy who just got out of the drunk tank. She could, you see, so many things could happen as a ripple effect from this one sexually irresponsible decision. Keep your business out the street, your sexual business out of the street, and do whatever you're going to do. Keep it to yourself. Nobody wants to see it. And if they do, there's a market for everything. You still want, in order for it to do well, you want it to have some level of exclusivity, because if you're giving it away, you won't get anything. So that's just, this story about Juliana is an example of what not to do. Don't be out in public thinking that you are so sexy that everyone just will be enthralled and will just keep walking as you go down on your besties. It's just not a good look. It's gross. No. So anyway, the next cautionary tale is coming out of Texas. The southern states, I don't know if it's the heat, the swarthy humidity, I don't know. But we've got two men who really probably regret the threesome that they had. Something is wrong with the threesome. Now 2 stories about threesomes in a row. So one man has now lost his career as a Texas cop. And he's also married, so I don't know, his marriage is probably on life support. He and his homie decided that they were going to have a threesome with the homie's neighbor. The homie, his name is Mark, and the cop's name is Freddie. I'll show some pictures of them. You see Freddie with his, lovely family, and he's a 43-year-old guy. They had a threesome with Amanda. Amanda, one of the dolls, made a bad decision. I don't know what was on her mind, but what she did might get her locked up. She tried to have these 2 men locked up, and after their threesome, claimed that they essayed her, the R-worded her. A month after the threesome went down, she called the cops on these guys and said that they essayed her and that they R-word her, got her drunk. Well, luckily, Mark, her neighbor from across the street, had footage of the whole ordeal. It came out later that her and Mark had been having an affair for months. She's married. Amanda's married still, but her and her husband are separated. So she's been having an affair with Mark from across the street. Obviously, it's very casual. She's having, sex with his homies in the pool casually. This is just a clear-cut case of, it seems like, sexual regret. Now, Mark and Freddie are both suing the county that arrested them because they arrested these men and were ruining their lives without even questioning them or looking at the video footage. It was really a scenario where a bad decision about just having fun with, just having a little fun with the lady from across the street almost lost them their freedom, their reputations, of course, careers, family. It just isn't worth it. And it is something that could have been avoided. But hey, you can look on the one hand and say, oh, well, they will get a payoff from this. They will get some kind of financial reward from this. Amanda was probably just having a casual fling, trying to see if she still had it after separating from her husband and thinking that she could do it without the effects of oxytocin, the love hormone that can cause attachment to a man way too quickly. So this is really her being embarrassed, probably, or regretting the decision that she made to go over there and engage in this behavior, because she very likely saw him with somebody else or entertaining another woman at his house while she was looking down the street, helpless to do anything, because A, she's married, and number two, they very likely didn't have a commitment. So, bad decisions were made all around in this story. And luckily, Mark had footage to exonerate him, but he already lost so much. He lost his job, I believe, also. He was facing years in prison. And Freddie definitely lost his job as a police officer. And it cost him everything. So now they're suing. Hopefully they can get a judgment in their favor. And, these really silly sexual decisions cost the taxpayers money. So I doubt that Freddie will get another job in law enforcement. He was decorated too. And these types of silly decisions cost taxpayers because we have to pay for these lawsuits that affect municipalities. So that's just another example of how sexual irresponsibility can get you tied up and in trouble in ways that you really don't want. So finally, I'm going to retell the tragic story of legendary Tennessee Titans quarterback Steve McNair. There is a new documentary out, Untold, I believe it's called. It's on Netflix. Check it out. Untold, the story of Steve McNair. He was a quarterback for the Tennessee Titans, formerly the I think it was Houston Oilers. And then after some trauma with the Titans, he was a Baltimore Raven quarterback too. And I think led them to the playoffs and maybe even the Super Bowl and almost won it. So anyhow, he was a quarterback who was married, who was killed by his mistress. He was 36 when she shot them both in a murder-suicide in his downtown apartment, his little cat house, as it was called on the documentary, where he and his friends would entertain all kinds of women. And this poor 20-year-old woman, she felt like they were going to have a future together. I believe that she thought that they were planning a family, and he was taking her house shopping. Steve had been married for a very long time to his college sweetheart, and I doubt that he planned to divorce them. I mean, he was a man about town. He was definitely a man about town. So, she wasn't the only one. This poor 20-year-old girl thought she was the only one. She was born in Iran, probably from a very conservative family, did not follow any of the teachings of Islam. She definitely got caught up on him, this big old quarterback millionaire, and couldn't handle the pressure of the weight of her financial burdens, because he wasn't really helping as much as he once did. He used to transfer her money all the time, but that slowed down, and they had just bought this Escalade together that I believe he was kind of leaving her on the hook to pay for. So it was just a big mess, and she shot him, I think it was like 5 times, and then shot herself in the head. 2 lives lost, a family disgraced, a quarterback's legacy disgraced, his family disgraced, leaves behind 2 children because he didn't want to honor the vows of his commitment, to honor his wife and have fidelity towards their relationship. So yeah, it's just, these cautionary tales, they're a warning to do the right thing with your sexual self. Have a strategy. Like, know what it is that you want from your relationships. If you want to hook up, with someone and don't expect anything out of it, that's on you, but at least protect yourself. Don't do it in a public place, and be prepared to potentially regret it afterwards, because it added nothing to your life other than a fleeting orgasm. Even if you were lucky enough to get that. So understand, like, what is it that you want? Do you want a relationship, a commitment, potentially marriage? Are you looking to get laid by your neighbor and have him flaunt other women in your face? Just choose. So that's the moral of this video. And these stories are cautionary tales for what the dolls might want to avoid doing. You make your decisions from here. Talk to you soon, ladies.